Hey everyone, as we continue working on developing healthy habits for the 2190 challenge, I wanted to first share with you my acrostic that is guiding my daily habits. Dangerous against Satan, energetic, bold in the prophetic, orator, radical dreams, active faith, harmony, contagion. Every day I try to do something to build peace around me, to become a stronger prayer warrior, or to embrace public speaking. This week, we're going through the parable of the talents, which you'll find in Matthew 25:14 through 30. And we'll be focusing on learning from the servant with one talent. What I would like to talk to you more about is what kind of steward you are and how to transition from lackadaisical to industrious stewardship. For the past few weeks, the lessons that I've been working through in my personal devotions seem to be the focus of the sermons the very next day. This is also the case for today's devotional as well. I've been reading Godmothers by Lisa Bevere. Keep with me, men. I promise this won't exclude you. I would like to share a quote from the book which speaks to this topic. Dirt is where we bury dead things. It is where we hide what we are ashamed of. It is where we place the things that we are afraid to touch. Burying is different from planting. We don't water what we bury. Sadly, most of us don't slip outside by moonlight and dig a hole. We find a more intimate place to hide those dreams and talents. We slip them into a darkened gap in our heart. At first, we experience a strange sense of relief. You assure yourself that under the circumstances and given your track record, you have done all you could. The thing you were given will be safely hidden and easy to retrieve when it is required. It is only later that you realize that when you bury your talent, you rob yourself. I'd like to take a moment to really unpackage this quote in reference to today's devotion on being a more industrious steward and the lies that we've held on to that cause us to be lackadaisical. Sometimes we're waiting until we feel we have enough confidence before we use our talent, telling ourselves that we're just being cautious or waiting until it feels right. But burying our talent isn't the act of logic that we tell ourselves. When we bury it, it becomes a funeral. We put to death something that was never ours in the first place. Burying it is wasting it. Unlike the economics of the world, where you can set something aside to invest it, we have to use the talent in order to get an investment back. This is about discipleship and obedience. This parable is referring to the kingdom principle of stewardship, and not necessarily over money, since there are many things we steward: giftings, time, attention, intelligence. All of these things belong to God, and we are charged with stewarding them. Burying the things that we're intended to steward is sometimes the result of blatant disobedience and sometimes delayed obedience. While the other two servants immediately left to be industrious in their talents, the servant who buried the talent clearly didn't know the heart of the master or the relationship he shared with the master, and ultimately chose to bury the talent in fear. If you're not using your talent, whatever that might be, immediately dig it up and invest what you have. God was intentional with what he gave you, so be intentional with using it. It's never too late to be a faithful and productive steward.